I want to bring you up to date with events in Russia because the Kremlin press secretary says that he simply cannot understand a survey which shows Russians struggling to afford new shoes. The data, which actually comes from Russia's own statistics agency, Rosstat, shows that 8 out of 10 Russian households find it hard to make ends meet. For more than half of the households polled, they said that people can't cope with sudden expenses. 1/3 polled can't afford to buy 2 pairs of shoes each year, and almost half don't have the money for a week-long annual holiday, even if staying with friends or family. Well, here's Dmitry Peskov's response, and he says, why shoes? Why 1/3? He asks, where are these figures coming from? Well, to give us clarity, here's Olga Ivshina from BBC Russian on why the government might be concerned.
Now, when people start to ask questions, there is no prosperity, things are getting worse, the government is struggling to fight this narrative. And it seems that there is this famous battle between the TV set and the fridge. The TV set is saying that things are great, but then you go to the fridge and there is a strong contradiction. And that's the contradiction the government is afraid of, because people who are dissatisfied with the basic things, who can't afford the basic things, these are people who have nothing to lose.
Well, Sarah Rainsford has more from Moscow for us.
There's been a kind of reaction here, especially on social media, of people suggesting that the Kremlin and particularly the spokesperson and all state officials here are increasingly out of touch with reality for ordinary Russians. Mr. Peskov has also been photographed wearing designer boots, which we know for a fact cost almost 2 months of the minimum salary here in Russia. So I think there is a divide between the haves and the have-nots here, as there is, of course, in many countries. But I think that's thrown into stark relief by figures like this. Certainly, there has been a scandal in the past about the size, for example, of MPs' salaries here compared with the salaries of doctors, medics, teachers, particularly in the provinces. And again, that's the sort of thing that this survey has highlighted, the difficulties for ordinary families, ordinary Russians, particularly at a time of economic difficulty broadly across the country under sanctions and with a falling oil price. So I think a picture which has caused annoyance for the Kremlin, but for many Russians, suggesting that they're simply out of touch with the way that ordinary people live here.